Expand your client base using AI. Zuri.k matches service providers by showcasing their services to potential clients online. It's free.
Welcome to the bold analysis. People have been asking, why do you think David Ndii is not in William Ruto's cabinet? And he has been a bit absent in the public because he was actually the image of the bottom-up economic model. And there is a concerted effort for the BUM, that bottom-up economic model, to be removed from to be dropped from the campaign trail. The imaging goes down so that it remains a boardroom conversation. And before you know, it will deflate from the public. And what I've seen here is the President William Ruto created a Council of Economic Advisors, which is an executive agency. And it will work with the office of the executive office of the President William Ruto. And it works also similar to those of Fiscal Affairs and Budget Office on the issues of economy. And I want to agree with the political analyst who argued that David Ndii's involvement in maybe presence in a cabinet position, he would actually be given the cabinet portfolio that was handed over to Moses Kuria. But it seems that he has taken another office and they have created their own office, but coordinating with the Treasury, the ministry that was to be headed by Moses Kuria, the one for cooperatives by Simon Chilgui, and the executive office of the President. And I have seen people coming out to ask why we are creating more offices and more advisory layers on the office of the President, even though we are complaining about a ballooning wage bill. We want to manage wage bill, but we are still adding more offices in the fold. We are still injecting more faces in government in more layers. So the advisory has actually been brought up. The advisory has been the advisory layers around President William Ruto seems to have been increased with a principal focus of making sure that maybe people are going to get their means. And one thing I can say is this: David Ndii is no longer going to be the image of that bottom-up economic model. With one intention is that they want to remove it from the public. At the campaign trail, when you'll see photos where the president is somewhere and a wheelbarrow is being thrown left, right, and center, it was the image of that bottom-up economic model. The focus or the logo of the party is that bottom-up economic model. And the person that was taught out to be understanding that model, the image, the person that was giving it was visibility, and the elite bit of it is David Ndii. But now in that economic council of Economic Advisors, he seems to have been hidden from the public. And my understanding is that William Ruto is removing that bottom-up economic model from the people's mind and the people's thoughts and in the public because of some reasons. And it's necessary now. Kindly subscribe to our channel, by the way. We're also running the 50 shillings challenge for purchase of a camera extra camera to help the Bold production team in producing the exclusive interviews. And this, I've been running this. It's supposed to end on 22nd. I'm reaching out in a special way. And those who have been contributing, and they're still contributing, I want to say thank you. There are those who had given pledges that maybe to the end month, which is also fine. I'm still going to say thank you. Asanteni sana, asanteni sana. We are growing and we are in the right track. Oh, and my good friend Job was telling me, oh, Kevin, where are you? Aye, bana, sijashikwa. Nico, and that YouTube was boring without your analysis. Asante sana. Yes. I'm back. Now, why do you think that bottom-up economic model is being removed from the public? It's being demoted, and that's why that David Ndii, that is why David Ndii, you know, the other people in cabinet, if you look at Moses Kuria, yes, he was in the campaign trail, and there was the bottom up, you know. If you look at Simon Chelugui, he was not in the campaign trail, but I will analyze about him sometime, probably tomorrow when I get back to Nairobi. If you look at Simon Chelugui, who was put in charge of the cooperatives and social societies, he's a very strong link to execution of that bottom-up economic model. But he was in the campaign trail and he's been put there, so he is not out for public. Now, David Ndii is not out, is out there, but he'll not be keen on this. Why do you think William Ruto is removing bottom-up from the public? It doesn't want it to be imaged. It's very easy. That model, if you ask me, it's in its pilot stage, especially in Kenya. You know, it's a foreign idea. And I want to agree that Joe Biden was saying that he once tweeted saying, I am fed up with up, bottom. Is it bottom up? Up, down. Is it trickle down? I'm fed up with trickle down. I want bottom up, middle out. Now, in this country, we've only spoken about, yes, bottom up. And we've only told people to know bottom up, bottoms up. People have trivialized it. But even the economic advisors, and when you speak to an economist, just get your time when you talk some of these things. Not just everything you talk about politics, but then you may realize, well, hakuna conversation tamu kama kuhusu the economy. It's one of the sweetest for me. You will be told that you will understand that even the people that are advising the president to use it are sure that it's prone to some challenges, especially in the Kenyan context. They're not yet 100% sure whether this is going to work, this might not work. So it's being piloted, and they're leaving it open to changes here and there. Kwamba kama kuna kitu inafaa ifanywe inaweza fanywa, it can be done. If something can be changed, it can be changed. And I mentioned that program is at the pilot. Now, let me say the second thing is this. Apart from it being in the pilot, because it is in the pilot, that bottom-up economic model is still prone to some remedies that are going to be done. And if William Ruto realizes that it's not going to serve the political interest, it's going to serve the elite, then it might have to be dropped to the tail end of first term so that to take populist decisions. Because it's not a populist one. The Hustler Fund, especially the Hustler Fund, is not a populist one. That is it. But the other thing why William Ruto has been forced to remove the bottom-up economic model and pick, instead of just talking to hustlers, because that bottoms-up is a boardroom, is an elite thing. It's only the elite that will understand. For the public, for the population, they will only understand there is a bottom-up economic model, and they only understand the word bottom-up economic model. But if you sit down with him and ask him, just ask someone, what's that bottom-up? You'll be shocked. People are going to tell you stories. You'll hear very many stories. of sisi kuwa na pesa, si dynasty. In fact, people will explain it vis-a-vis dynasty. That's when you realize that it's more in the boardroom, it's not in the public. So that is the other reason why the president, according to me, is creating layers. The layers that are being created are actually being created so that it will ward off. It will not be just at presidency. It will not be just specific person. Someone like David Ndii, ni kama sasa imefichwa. It has been hidden, and now you can just make your own pronouncement that something is simply not adding up. Now, if you also see, and lastly, where I also see this a scheme by President Ruto to make sure that the bottom-up economic model is removed in the public and in the minds of the Kenyans, is because of realistic challenges that is coming up with it. The greatest pillar of bottom-up is access to financing to the small businesses. That's what has been said, that we want the small businesses to have money. We want the people that are doing businesses to have money in their pockets. And for them to have money, the solution or the intervention is loans. And loans also means that government going to partner with development, with the banks and the private banks. So that's the framework. That's the framework of implementing the Hustler Fund. Even though I've seen they're saying it will be up and ready by December, we are really waiting for how it will run. I hope I'll be a beneficiary. So what are we speaking about here? We are speaking about something that has real problems. There are real problems by giving people money, especially money you want them to return. There is a real challenge into it. And that's why this decision by William Ruto to drop David Ndii from the public limelight and being a strict spokesperson mostly openly on this bottom-up is because that bottom-up remains a hidden secret. That's the truth. That thing is a hidden secret. In the campaign trail, it was loud, but now it's a hidden secret. Kuna vitu zitafanywa lakini pia juu wanaangalia juu sana, because the truth of the matter here is the interest of William Ruto is not a mama mboga, so he's not going to invest in that mboga thing. He's actually going to invest in companies. So as much as we are talking about investing in mama mboga down here, the truth of the matter is that the political class is actually investing up there, and that's my point.